51 constituencies across 7 states decided their candidate in phase 5 of the Lok Sabha election. Voter turnout remains healthy in this phase, with West Bengal topping the list. Sporadic violence reported through the day. A grenade bomb lobbed at a polling booth in Pulwama in Jammu and Kashmir. Violence reported from Barakpur, Howrah and Hooghly in West Bengal. In Amethi, the BJP Smriti Irani alleges booth capturing by the Congress. First conservative prediction by BJP leader. Party's National General Secretary Ram Madhav predicts that the BJP will need its partners in the NDA to form a government after the 23rd of May. Amid the election season, even cyclones get politicized. Prime Minister Modi calls West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee arrogant, says she did not respond to his requests to meet to assess the loss after Cyclone Fani. The elections aren't over yet, but alliance formation is already a priority. Telangana Chief Minister TRS Chief K. Chandrasekhar Rao is likely to meet Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan to discuss the idea of a third front. Hello and welcome to India Election Watch. This is an all-new episode. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay. Phase 5 of the Lok Sabha elections got over today. The business end of India's elections, with only 2 more phases to go. This is the show that brings you the latest on the world's biggest electoral exercise. Verified updates, unbiased analysis. The entire election day wrapped in 30 minutes with a very special panel of guests today. Let's begin with the highlights. Phase 5 of India's 7-phase Lok Sabha elections got over today. 51 constituencies in 7 states voted. That's nearly 9 crore Indians, 4.5 crore men, more than 4.5 crore, more than 4 crore women, and more than 2,000 transgender voters. These were the people who were eligible to cast their vote. Nearly 1 lakh polling stations were set up for this phase. 674 candidates were in the fray. 48 of them were from the BJP, 46 from the Congress, 33 from the BSP. And with the end of this phase, 424 constituencies have already voted. So now 118 seats to go for phases 6 and 7. Now for the turnout. India is all set to beat its past voting record in this election. After 4 phases, the overall voter turnout stands at a little more than 68%. That's a notch higher than the 67.6% recorded in 2014. And that's only the first 4 phases. Today, too, polling was brisk. As of 6 p.m., the overall polling percentage was more than 60%. The final figures will be higher. Voter turnout was nearly 75% in West Bengal, more than 60% in Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. The voters of Bihar and UP also came out in large numbers, but polling was tepid in Jammu and Kashmir. There were sporadic incidents of violence as well. The BJP candidate from Amethi, Smriti Irani, alleged booth capturing in her constituency. In Barakpur in West Bengal, the BJP candidate said that he was attacked by the Trinamool Congress party workers. The party wants a re-election there. There was also a scuffle between the TMC MP and security forces in Howrah.
हिंसा पूरी चरम पर है बंगाल में. लोकतंत्र को ध्वस्त किया जा रहा है. चुनाव आयोग मूक दर्शक बन के बैठा है और आज श्रीरामपुर में भी बूथ को घेरा है. ममता चुनाव हार रही है, इसलिए वोट से नहीं रिगिंग से चुनाव जीतने का उनका प्रयास है. ये लोकतंत्र की घोर अवमानना है. ये लोकतंत्र को नष्ट करने जैसा है. वो चुनाव आयोग को धमका रही है.
The worst case of violence happened in Jammu and Kashmir's Pulwama district. Police said that militants lobbed a grenade towards a polling station. Thankfully, no casualties there. Security forces have cordoned off the area. This is the first militant attack on a polling station in Jammu and Kashmir in this election. There were some interesting images from this phase as well. A 102-year-old woman casting a vote in Rajasthan. A 105-year-old turning up in Hazaribagh in Jharkhand to exercise her right to vote. Today's phase will decide the future of several heavyweights in Indian politics. Sample some of these names. Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, Rajnath Singh, Smriti Irani, Arjun Munda, Jayant Sinha, Dinesh Trivedi, Arjun Ram Meghwal, Rajyavardhan Singh Rathore. They were all in the fray today. So 5 down, 2 more to go in this marathon of an election. So phase 5 may be the smallest in terms of the number of seats on offer, but it's no less significant. Here are the 5 big points to note about phase 5. Point number 1, the poll math. We've hit the slog overs in this election, and just like a limited overs cricket match, elections also heat up towards the end. For perspective, some numbers. 51 seats up for grabs. The BJP won 39 out of these in 2014. The Congress party got only 2. The Trinamool Congress won all the 7 seats going to the polls from West Bengal today. In terms of alliances, the NDA won 41 out of 51 in the last election, 1 each for Ram Vilas Paswan's LJP and Mehbooba Mufti's People Democratic Party. It was part of the NDA then. So 420 odd seats done, 424 to be precise, 120 odd remaining. A strong performance today will give parties the much needed momentum for the last 2 laps. Besides, crucial seats in the heartland are up for grabs. Phase 2 and 3 were about South India. Phase 4 was about Maharashtra. But today with Phase 5, the focus shifts to the heartland, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Bengal and Bihar as well. That's where elections are won or lost, at least at the centre. The heartland is seeing political experiments of many varieties this time, be it the battle of alliances in Bihar or the test of the Kairana model in Uttar Pradesh or the test of Modi magic in Rajasthan. Point number 2 about this phase, the grudge matches. To sugarcoat that, we can call them the prestige battles as well. Take, for instance, constituencies like Lucknow or Vidisha. Seats of prominent leaders like Rajnath Singh and Sushma Swaraj. Ms. Swaraj is not contesting this time. This is unknown territory for the BJP. The performance of the party will be closely watched in Vidisha. The big ticket battle in Amethi. Some analysts see Rahul Gandhi's decision to contest from Wayanad as a hedge. Smriti Irani is expected to give him a good fight. This seat is a prestige battle, fair and square. Rai Bareli, a seat to watch. UPA chairperson Sonia Gandhi is contesting again, but she's hardly campaigned. Her vote share has been falling over the years. How will she fare? Most likely she'll win, but nonetheless, a seat in focus. Then we have Saran in Bihar. Once an RJD bastion, not anymore. The BJP is trying to consolidate its hold. The RJD is fighting them. The RJD is also fighting a family feud here in Saran. Will Chandrika Rai give Rajiv Pratap Rudy a run for his money? That is the big question from Bihar. Then we have Ranchi, the bellwether seat from Jharkhand. It is seeing factions in the BJP. Rajasthan too has a couple of interesting seats. Bikaner is one of them. Union Minister Meghwal pitted against his own nephew. The other seat is Jaipur Rural, a battle of 2 Olympians. Union Minister Rajyavardhan Rathore versus Krishna Punia. They're locked in a tight contest. This phase is full of prestige battles. Point number 3 on why this phase is key. It has direct battles between the Congress and the BJP. Case in point is Madhya Pradesh, a straight shootout between the 2 top parties of India. Unlike Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, this phase has the highest number of such fights in Madhya Pradesh especially. Just a few months ago, the BJP lost MP after 15 years. But this is a different election. It's a Lok Sabha election, not an assembly fight. The Congress is riddled with 3 power centers in the state. We have Kamal Nath, Jyotiraditya Scindia and of course Digvijay Singh. They've announced farm loan waivers, all right, but that does not guarantee them a win. The BJP has upped the ante. The Prime Minister has campaigned aggressively in Madhya Pradesh. There are polarizing candidates on both ends of the spectrum. The BSP, which has 5% vote share, may tip it in the favor of the BJP. The Congress needs to win in Madhya Pradesh to have some sort of influence if the verdict is split. A very crucial contest here. States like Madhya Pradesh have often altered the shape and structure of alliances, so this one matters. That brings us to the 4th crucial aspect. West Bengal, a test of Mamata Banerjee's strength as a politician, a test of the TMC as a party. Mamata is fighting to hold her bastion. In 2014, she won all the 7 seats that voted today. This includes seats like Howrah, Uluberia, Srirampur and Barakpur. Some of these seats are highly polarized. Last year's Ram Navami violence happened in this region. The BJP is now an electoral force here. The left has also seen some sort of consolidation. Mamata needs to hold on to her bastions if she wants to play any part in a future government. Yes, her name is spoken about as one of the consensus candidates in an opposition alliance. It will all depend on how she fares. She's locked in a bitter war of words with Prime Minister Modi. The duo fight publicly over every issue. They've been doing it for a while now. From CBI raids to IT raids to now Cyclone Fani. Every issue becomes a flashpoint between Mamata and Modi. So much so that the West Bengal Chief Minister refused to hold a review meeting with the Prime Minister to assess the damage due to the cyclone. Mamata Banerjee says officials of a state are on election duty. The BJP is sure to point out that this is an example of a party and a government bothered more about itself than the people of the state. So there are 17 more seats to go in West Bengal in the last two phases. Bengal just survived a severe cyclone, but it's only getting ready for cyclone politics. And there's one more thing that has captured the public attention in the last 48 hours. Another controversy dug from the annals of the past. Another controversy that parties are busy stoking now. It started with Prime Minister Modi hitting out at the late Rajiv Gandhi. Modi said Rajiv Gandhi's life ended as Bhrashtachari number 1.
आपके पिताजी को आपके राग दरबारियों ने मिस्टर क्लीन बना दिया था। गाजे बाजे के साथ मिस्टर क्लीन चला था, लेकिन देखते ही देखते भ्रष्टाचारी नंबर 1 के रूप में उनका जीवन काल समाप्त हो गया।
Rahul Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi's son, says he will return Modi love and a hug with a warning. Modi's karma will catch up soon. Opposition leaders are accusing the Prime Minister of stooping too low to gain political mileage. While this story is making political headlines, the fact is that Rajiv Gandhi is not relevant for politics or people in 2019. The BJP has conducted a campaign vehemently opposed to the Gandhi family instead of defending its own record. In 2014, it paid off for an opposition party. But that's because they were not in power. 2019 is a different ball game altogether. Let's discuss Phase 5 in detail. From Shimla, we have with us Professor Makarand R. Paranjpe, Director of the Indian Institute of Advanced Studies. And we also have Walter Anderson, former US official in the State Department, author and American academician. Thank you both for joining us. Professor Paranjpe, let's start with you. Voting percentage slightly higher, and we still don't have the final figures. There is talk about a silent wave, even a pro-incumbency wave. What's your reading?
I think that this election is not about waves, but about a groundswell. And what we've seen is, from the beginning, there's been a shift. Initially, we thought that the numbers would add up differently and that the BJP would have a very tough, possibly even an uphill battle. But now, we've crossed the middle point, and it's very clear that at least in terms of the narrative war, the BJP is way ahead. In fact, I'm sure the strategists must be thinking that there's no point in attacking the Congress anymore, which is not a real threat to the BJP, but they should now start attacking the regional parties, which may actually pull down their total tally in the end. So it seems to me that the big shift that has happened is that gradually the Prime Minister himself, his personality, his magnetism, and his appeal across voters, across language, region, community, caste, religion, has prevailed. And he's shown himself to be the most viable leader. Now, will that translate into actual seats given the local complications and all the different permutations and combinations? I don't know. One commentator called it the Rashomon effect, which is that everybody's got the same evidence, but they're coming to different conclusions. But I can say one thing, that there have been exit polls. Of course, you can't publicize them now. So there's a lot of information that is floating around, though in a confidential manner. And I think that parties are already making their calculations. So I think, to answer your question, the whole issue of the margin of victory and the actual permutation and combination of what happens afterwards is still up in the air. But I think it's pretty clear that the BJP is really come out in front and is likely, with its allies, to form the next government.
Interesting you say with its allies, and I'll come back to the point of attacking the Congress, whether that's a good strategy or not. Walter Anderson, what is your reading? 5 phases down. Are both the national parties going to need allies to form a government?
No, very likely. I totally agree with Dr. Paranjpe's analysis. I think that the shift has been since February and March toward the BJP, and polls show that. The earlier polls showed the BJP and its allies winning 230 to 240 seats, actually 220 to 240 seats. The most recent polls before the elections began it has them up about 30 seats on an average in the spread of seats. So I think the polling picks that up. Um, it's interesting about the narrative that has quickly developed, and it's best expressed by Amit Shah in a recent interview where he focuses on two things. He says that national security and nationalism is not contradictory to the whole issue of development. Now, what's interesting about that is that's increased focus on nationalism and national security from the earlier polling that was taken in 2014. And the BJP has pushed that. And here again, polls are very interesting. After Pulwama is you begin to see an increase in support for the BJP. Now, polling also shows that national security and nationalism as issues are not near the top concerns that are expressed by voters, but that's somewhat deceptive because I think that Indians want a strong government able to do things. And this is kind of in the background. It's kind of one of these secondary issues that informs much else. And I think the BJP stands to gain from that. Now, on these particular elections, they're increasingly important as people analyze, where the BJP and the other opposition parties are going. And the reason for that, as you expressed in your opening comment, was that of the 51 seats, the BJP controls 39, and they're in the Hindi-speaking heartland, and especially important in states that the Congress won in December of last year in the assembly elections. Polling here again shows that the prime minister is extremely popular in those states. So those elections are not, those assembly elections are not, necessarily going to translate into Congress victories. In fact, if the polling on Modi, holds up, it could well benefit, extremely well, to benefit the BJP. And it's for that reason I think the BJP has increasingly focused on Modi as a person. And the campaign is increasingly focused on him. And that interview I mentioned of Amit Shah,
Right.
he spends a lot of the time talking about Modi. That what we need, he says, in terms of a vote, and focuses it on Modi himself, is that he needs more time, another 5 years, to do what he had started to do, lay the groundwork, end corruption, and other things that enhance development and the security
Right.
of India. So it's continuity is a basic focus, and continuity for a person, the prime minister, who has proved he's able to take tough decisions at home and abroad. No one can debate that, but that I think is the narrative. And there is a kind of soft Hindutva message that's coming into this as well. For
I'm not
example,
sure how soft it is with the likes of Sadhvi Pragya Thakur in it, and I want to dwell on some of the points you made, so I'm sorry to interrupt you there. But I think it's the BJP's hope that the voting is on Modi. That is what they hope for. But that's a big if when you say that if that happens, because we know that nobody's contesting the fact that Modi's popularity is much higher than the BJP's popularity. But do people vote for their MPs or do people vote for the Prime Minister? That is the big question. But coming back to attacking Congress and why or why not the BJP should be doing it, Professor Paranjpe, you said they should be targeting regional parties. From where I'm looking at, I think both sides are preparing for a life of coalition politics all over again. The likes of Ram Madhav, I believe, have said in an interview that we are going to need our allies. Given that, how do you make sense of attacks on, say, Rajiv Gandhi? Why did he have to come into the election discourse now?
I think that was, unfortunate in the sense that it is not germane to the main issues, and it unnecessarily diverts attention. Of course, we know that Bofors did cost Rajiv Gandhi his government. We know what happened. But that's, as you said, irrelevant in the beginning, in your introductory comments. I think what has to happen now is to see this whole dynamic of, cross-voting or vote sharing or vote cutting. I think these are the three phenomena which are going to play out in ways which are, I think, unpredictable. Because in some places, people have predicted that Congress is going to cut the upper caste vote base of the BJP. I'm not sure that's how it's going to pan out. In fact, it might be in a very peculiar way, in an ironic twist of fate, that Congress is actually going to cut the support base of the Basapa and Sapa, that is BSP-SP alliance. So we really don't know, because the Congress has come out all guns blazing. They've tried their very best, and yet their secret weapon. I mean, Priyanka Gandhi, who in her own ways is charismatic and appealing to a number of different constituencies, is almost like a damp squib today. They were not able to use her. They should have fielded her against Narendra Modi in Varanasi, which they didn't do for whatever reason. There was nothing to lose there. So I think if the BJP, whatever strategists are sitting down to think about what to do in the last couple of phases, they should now concentrate on reducing the impact of the regional satraps. They should stop attacking the Congress. They should start attacking, all these regional parties. And of them, in a peculiar way, it's Mamata Banerjee, Didi, who's come out as being the most gutsy of the opponents of BJP. Of course, the state is riven with violence, which is very unfortunate, but she emerges as the strong woman in the opposition. Nobody else has managed to, offer that kind of alternative image of strength, because it's only one strong man with his barrel chest, or whatever you want to call it, chappan-inch chhati. And there's nobody who can stand up against him. And it's only Mamata Banerjee who has emerged as a sort of really, intrepid warrior for the, regional Bengali,
Right.
whatever, subnationalism. But I'm also very aware of how BJP has finally made inroads into Bengal. I think that's going to be a very important new, I think, initiative this time in these elections.
Yes, Mamata Banerjee may have stood up to Modi, but she stood up to what avail is also the question. When you block the CBI, when you block the IT raids from happening, when you also do not want to discuss the impact of a cyclone on the people of your state, saying we're busy with elections, you do not necessarily send out a very reassuring message, even though you come across as strong. Interesting that you brought up Bengal. I wanted to ask this to Walter Anderson. The BJP's big hope is West Bengal. Some estimates giving them as many as 20 seats in that state. Is Mamata Banerjee, by her actions, by her statements, only helping the BJP win that perception battle?
To a certain extent, I think that's true. What you have in West Bengal is a kind of miniature version of a presidential election. In this case, it's Modi versus Mamata Banerjee. And the BJP has focused on West Bengal. Look at the times, the number of times that Modi and Amit Shah have gone there, and they have built up the organization in that state. And so they're really trying to get out the vote. So voting statistics are important because it gives you a notion as to how successful they've been doing. They're doing that in West Bengal too. They want to bring out the vote because to a large extent, the BJP has occupied the opposition space in the politics of West Bengal. And as you said, it's very important that they get votes there because they are going to lose seats in Uttar Pradesh. Maybe not in Madhya Pradesh or in Rajasthan or Jharkhand, but in Uttar Pradesh they almost certainly will. So they need to make up for it. And West Bengal is one of the most lucrative prospects they have in making up. So they're focusing on her. It's not that they're not. This is one case where a regional leader has become the focus of BJP efforts in that state.
Right. Professor Paranjpe, I'm out of time, but I have to ask you about Amethi, the biggest of the prestige battles in this phase, if not the entire election. Will Smriti Irani, according to you, be the giant killer, and was Wayanad Rahul Gandhi's insurance policy then?
I think so, but I'm only going to say one little thing. In Bengal, if they get 14, 15 seats, it's going to be amazing for this ruling party and coalition, because 20 would be like a windfall, but 14, 15 would be significant. As to Amethi, it may be closer than we think, and even if Rahul Gandhi manages, by the skin of his teeth to hold on to his bastion, even so, I think the impact, the message is going to be loud and clear that he had to retreat or run away from the heartland of India all the way, to a safe seat down south. So that really shows that they've been vacating, or they've been vacated from, the Hindi belt, which always brought back the Prime Minister to power.
Right. We'll have to see how this goes. This is turning out to be a very, very interesting election. Thank you both, as always, for sharing your thoughts and your perspective. Professor Paranjpe, Walter Anderson, pleasure to have you on the show. With that,
thank you.
It's a wrap on this edition of India Election Watch. Keep your comments coming in, keep your feedback coming in with the hashtag India Election Watch. You can tweet us. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.
Mama and Papa did.